What if I told you that World War II didn't start in 1939? What if the fuse was lit 8 years earlier, on a cold September night in Manchuria, when a mysterious explosion on a railway track would set in motion a chain of events that would eventually consume the entire world in flames? Stay with me, because today we're diving into the forgotten years, the crucial period between 1931 and 1934, when the world stood at a crossroads and chose the path to catastrophe. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button, because we're diving deep into the real stories behind history's most pivotal moments. Today, we're tackling something most people completely miss when they think about World War II. Everyone knows about Pearl Harbor, D-Day, and the fall of Berlin, but the seeds of the deadliest conflict in human history were planted nearly a decade before the first shots were fired in Poland. These years, 1931 to 1934, were when the international order established after World War I began to crack, when aggressive powers tested the boundaries, and when the world's democracies made fateful decisions that would shape everything to come. Let's set the scene. It's September 18, 1931, and we're in Manchuria, a resource-rich region in northeastern China. Japanese officers from the Kwantung Army stage an explosion on the South Manchurian Railway near Mukden. They blame Chinese dissidents, and boom, they've got their excuse. Within months, Japan occupies the entire region, renaming it Manchukuo and installing a puppet emperor. This is the Mukden incident, and it's the first major crack in the post-World War I order. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The League of Nations, that grand experiment in collective security that was supposed to prevent another world war, actually investigates. They send the Lytton Commission, and after a thorough investigation, they conclude what everyone already knew. Japan was the aggressor. But what happens next? Absolutely nothing that matters. Japan simply withdraws from the League of Nations in 1933 and keeps Manchukuo. The international community has just learned a dangerous lesson. Aggression pays, and there's no real consequence for breaking the rules. But while Asia is burning, Europe is about to get a whole lot more complicated. In Germany, the Weimar Republic is in its death throes. The Great Depression has devastated the German economy. Unemployment is astronomical, and people are desperate. Enter Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. In the elections of 1932, the Nazis become the largest party in the Reichstag. By January 30, 1933, Hitler is appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Hindenburg. The old guard thinks they can control him, use him, manipulate him for their own purposes. They're about to learn how catastrophically wrong they are. Within weeks, Hitler moves to consolidate power. The Reichstag fire in February 1933 gives him the perfect excuse to suspend civil liberties. By March, the Enabling Act passes, effectively making Hitler a dictator. Democracy in Germany doesn't die with a bang. It dies with a vote, with legal procedures, with people thinking it could never really happen to them. By August 1934, when President Hindenburg dies, Hitler merges the offices of Chancellor and President, becoming the FIR. The transformation is complete. Now, what's Hitler doing with this power? First, he's consolidating control at home. The Night of the Long Knives in June 1934 sees Hitler purge the SA, the brown shirts, who helped him rise to power, along with other potential rivals. Ernst R.M. and dozens of others are murdered. Hitler is sending a message. Loyalty to him is absolute, or you're dead. But he's also looking outward, and what he sees is opportunity. Germany officially withdraws from the League of Nations in October 1933, the same year as Japan. Another major power is thumbing its nose at the international community, and again, there's no real consequence. Hitler begins the secret rearmament of Germany, violating the Treaty of Versailles that had restricted German military power after World War I. He's testing the waters, seeing how far he can push before someone pushes back. Meanwhile, in Italy, Benito Mussolini has been in power since 1922, and he's watching these developments with great interest. Mussolini dreams of a new Roman Empire, and he's already flexing Italy's muscles in Africa and the Mediterranean. The dictators are learning from each other, watching how the democracies respond, or more accurately, how they don't respond. Here's what makes this period so crucial. This is when the pattern gets established. Aggressive powers act. The international community condemns them with words, and then nothing happens. No military intervention, no crippling sanctions, no unified response. Britain and France, the two major democratic powers in Europe, are war-weary, economically weakened by the Depression, and politically divided. The memory of World War I's slaughter is too fresh. The idea of another war is unthinkable, so they think maybe if they just avoid confrontation, if they're just reasonable enough, things won't escalate. The United States, meanwhile, is diving deep into isolationism. Americans want nothing to do with European problems. The Depression is ravaging the country, and the mood is firmly against any foreign entanglements. The very League of Nations that might have coordinated an international response is fatally weakened by the absence of the United States, which never joined despite President Wilson's role in creating it. In the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin is consolidating his own brutal dictatorship. The first 5-year plans are transforming the Soviet economy through forced industrialization and the collectivization of agriculture, causing massive famines, particularly in Ukraine. Stalin is purging potential rivals and building a totalitarian state that will eventually play a massive role in World War II. But in these early years, the Soviet Union is focused inward and viewed with deep suspicion by the Western democracies. Let's talk about the economic context, because you can't understand the politics without it. The Great Depression isn't just an American phenomenon, it's global. In Germany, it's particularly devastating because the economy was already fragile from war reparations and the hyperinflation of the early 20s. Unemployment reaches 6 million. People are starving. This desperation is what gives extremist parties, like the Nazis, their opening. People don't turn to radical solutions when things are going well. They turn to them when they're desperate, when the old order has failed them, when they need someone to blame, and someone who promises simple solutions to complex problems. This economic chaos also explains why Britain and France are so reluctant to act. They're dealing with their own massive unemployment, their own economic crises, their own political instability. The last thing they want is an expensive confrontation with a rearming Germany or an expansionist Japan. It's easier to hope that things will settle down, that Hitler's rhetoric is just talk, that the international system will somehow hold together. But here's the tragedy. This is the moment when decisive action might have changed everything. Germany, in 1933 and 1934, is not yet the military powerhouse it will become. Hitler's rearmament is still in its early stages. A strong, unified response from the major powers might have stopped the Nazi regime before it could truly threaten European peace. But that response never comes, and with each month that passes, Germany grows stronger and the dictators grow bolder. The intellectual climate of the time is also crucial. There's a widespread belief, particularly among elites in Britain and France, that the Treaty of Versailles was too harsh on Germany, that some of Germany's grievances are legitimate. This creates a moral ambiguity that makes it harder to take a hard line against Hitler's early moves. Add to this the genuine horror of war that pervaded the societies that had fought World War I, and you can understand, even if you can't excuse, the paralysis of the democracies. By the end of 1934, the pieces are in place. Japan has proven that aggression works, and the League of Nations is toothless. Hitler has transformed Germany from a democracy into a dictatorship and begun the process of rearmament. Mussolini in Italy is looking for his own opportunities for expansion. The Soviet Union under Stalin is a brutal dictatorship focused on internal transformation. And the democracies, Britain, France, and the United States, are divided, weakened, and desperately hoping to avoid another war. The road to World War II isn't paved in 1939. It's paved in these years, between 1931 and 1934, when the world order fractures and nobody is willing or able to put it back together. Every time aggression goes unanswered, every time a dictator tests the boundaries and finds them weak, the path to war becomes more inevitable. History doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme, and the pattern established in these years is one we've seen before and since. When peaceful nations refuse to confront aggression early, they often end up fighting much larger wars later. So, there you have it, the forgotten years that set the stage for the most devastating conflict in human history. If this video opened your eyes to a part of history you didn't know about, do me a favor and hit that like button. Drop a comment below telling me what period of history you want me to cover next. Should we continue this series and look at 1935 to 1939? Let me know. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? We're building a community of people who want to understand not just what happened in history, but why it happened and what it means for us today. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.